Hi everyone, and thanks for subscribing to my channel. Simon Harris, he's at it again. Following his visit to the Munich Security Conference last week and to Johannesburg, where he spoke in front of many of the G20 leaders, he now has come back and is presenting a memo to Cabinet looking for approval to get rid of the triple lock. Here we go. Surprise, surprise. If people would follow this, a number of years ago, a security forum was held, consultative forum was held by the Irish government. Leo Varadkar spoke at that forum, and that forum was chaired by Dame Louise Richardson, member of the British Empire, talking about how we should be prepared militarily and a discussion on our neutrality. You really have to be blind to see this was all part of the stage set up towards what Simon Harris is presenting towards the Irish government this week to erode Irish neutrality further and further by getting rid of the triple lock. The triple lock had to require a UN Security Council mandate plus government approval and Dáil approval before you could send 12 members of the Defence Forces on an overseas mission. Now, it would also require a UN General Assembly motion, but the Irish government won't tell you that. They just want to paint it that Russia and China will veto any intention to send more than 12 members of the Defence Forces overseas. Of course, there was a number of European treaties that had to be voted on again, and it was copper fastened that the triple lock would not be eroded. But here we are now. The drive towards more militarism continues. Harris has said that Ireland isn't part of any military alliance. Complete and utter lie. Since 1999, Ireland has been a member of the NATO Partnership for Peace. It's a bit of a contradiction, a military alliance having a partnership for peace, and have been contributing to that. And they've also been members of many European Union battle groups and Nordic battle groups, driving towards more war. Last weekend, Zelensky spoke about a European army. This has always been the attention of the European Union, and in particular the warmongers in the European Union. And it's all about pushing their neoliberal agenda. It's all about the market. Who's prepared to die for the market? Not ordinary people. Put the leaders of those big corporations at the front lines. Put Martin and Harris at the front lines. No, they'll stand well back from the firing line, well back from the trenches when ordinary people are told to fight for democracy, freedom, values. Where have we heard this nonsense before? Currently they want to increase the military spending in Ireland. Harris has spoken about up to €3 billion could be spent on inverted commas defence to bolster the profits of the military industrial complex and those big billionaire owners and the shareholders making money from the butchery, murder and misery of so many people. But this has been the intention through their decoupling, for instance, with the United States. But maybe it's all smoke and mirrors, because it's always been a ruse used to boost up the military in Europe and increase the defence spending. Some countries spend up to 5 to 6% of their total GDP on so-called defence. Even today, Britain have said they're going to spend 2.5%. This is a country as well where we see dramatic and huge amounts of people being homeless. Very many social issues right across our country in terms of the context of people suffering because of lack of access to medical treatment and services. And in a country that's very wealthy, where 2 billionaires have the same wealth as 50% of the population. So who will profit from this? The private equity companies, the bankers, the war machine manufacturers. And who'll suffer? Ordinary people. So the slow march is on its way towards militarism, and this is part of the plan. Harris doing his job for van der Leyen and Micheál Martin and the Lowry-led independents that are pretending they're not in government, but are completely in government have signed up to the programme for government. So this is what part of this programme for government is about, and pushing us towards more war. So don't fall for any of the spin and nonsense the media will try and present over the next number of weeks and months about the danger of the subsea cables and this sort of nonsense. It's all about working with our masters in Brussels rather than the interests of ordinary people. Of course, in the Irish Constitution it states that Ireland should seek pacific settlements to international disputes and look for peace. But without a doubt, the political leaders in this country are not leaders. They're nothing but bureaucratic box tickers for the European Union. I have no interest in serving the needs of people. And the interesting thing is, if you look back at the context of Irish independence and sovereignty, it is important to note that when Wolfstone wrote on the Spanish War in 1790 about the British involvement in that, and a number of people in Ireland would have been pushing Irish people to get involved and die on a war for the British Empire. But Wolfstone spoke against it, spoke up for Irish independence and Irish neutrality being one and the same. Well, 235 years on, it's essentially the same now in Ireland. The struggle for our independence continues, the struggle for our sovereignty continues, and the struggle for our neutrality continues. As a country that's never colonised or occupied anybody, it's critically important we stand up for the needs of ordinary people, and that includes our neutrality, and not be part of any imperial empire. Don't stand with any king, chancellor, or president of the European Commission. Thanks for the support, and appreciate all the support on my videos. Please press subscribe to my YouTube channel also as well if you can. Take care. Slán.